Alright, I'm going to show you how to clean grid filters for a commercial pool. Alright, first of all, use your returns that pump water into your tank from your pool. And to start off, I'm going to show you, you're going to crank these up so it closes off the water coming in from the pool, so your water level starts to drop. And you're going to want to do both of these at the same time because you want to get it done really fast before the water level goes below your grids. So I'm going to set you down right here. Alright, and do not tighten these too much or you will break them, and that's a big expensive fix. But after that, water level's right above your grids. Come over here. You're gonna turn off your filter pump, and if your pool has a circulation switch, there'll be a switch. You just flip on and off. Flip it off and it'll turn off your motor. Right now, water level's right at my grid, so I'm gonna open this up a little bit, let the water level come above the grid some more. I'll show you why in a second. Alright, that's good. Shut it back off. Alright, and now we're going to come over here. You've got, this is your pre-coat and this is your return. This is another return. You're going to want to shut your returns off. Just close them so you don't have water coming in from your pool. Make sure they're fully closed. Alright, so you got your filter pump off, returns closed. Now, you're going to want to come over to your vacuum pump. Now, this is going to suck water from your pool. This is your vacuum. This is, it's worn off. That's your tank drain. This is coming from your tank. It's going to pull water from your tank. Right now, I've got it shut off to this because I like to keep it full of water. Makes it easier to prime. What you're going to do, you're going to turn on your vacuum pump. You're going to want to quickly switch it over so your tank drain's open, so it's pulling water from your tank. And then that is going to start draining water in here. And you've got your returns here and over there were closed, so you have no water going in, so it's just draining it into your waste right here. And I'm going to let that get down a little further, and then I'm going to show you what to do from there. Okay, so now your water is right above your grids, draining water into your waste. Came over here, shut the autofill off so it's not taking water from my hose. So I have full power, and then when it's right above, you're just going to start back and forth over your grids while the water level is still above them. Just makes it easier to clean them. If you start when the water level is above, just go back and forth and keep doing it. And then you're also going to want to clean the water off the sides, right, or the junk off the sides right here. Alright, you're also going to want to clean out right here. Separate lines. Get all that junk out of there. Go back. Start washing off your grids more. And just keep doing that while it drains, and don't stop. Make sure you're getting everything off the sides. as you're cleaning them, you want to make sure you're getting everything off these grids. All the dirt, all the leaves, just all the mud, everything, as much as you can. Now these are really old, very torn up grids, so they hold on to stuff a lot more than they should. I'm actually having someone come out and replace them sometime soon, so it won't be as much of a problem. But just keep washing them, make sure you're keeping them clean, getting everything off of them, and just keep doing that, and then I'll show you what to do from there. Alright, you're also going to want to make sure you get everything off your piping that holds the grids in place. You can see it kind of sits on that white PVC. Get all that off. Okay, so I've got the water level down pretty low. Grids are pretty clean. Not completely done yet, but if you come over to your waist, you can see it's not pumping as fast or as hard as it was. So what that means, if you come over here to your pump, you're going to want to close it off, shut your vacuum pump off. Take your lid off. And then take your basket out. As you can see, it's pretty full. Dump that out. Just make sure, get everything out of it. Make sure it's really clean. If you want to, you can spray it out, just really get it clean, but it doesn't really matter. It's just gonna clog up again eventually. Anyway, come over here. My O-ring fell off, so make sure that's in place. Put your lid back on. Get it tight. Turn your vacuum pump on. Switch it back over. And then I want to make sure it primes up. Not want to prime, open my vacuum a little bit, see if that starts letting water in. Which it is not. Alright, so I'll show you how to prime it up. Shut it off. Alright, so to prime up the pump, I want to take your lid off, come over here, grab your hose, stick it in there, and start filling it up. And what I like to do, I open up whatever I'm trying to pull it from. I'm trying to pull from the tank drain, so I'll open it up, let it fill up the tank drain line a little bit. Do that for like 5 minutes. Alright, so now I've let the tank drain line fill up for like 5 minutes. Now I'm going to close off the pump, let the water fill up all the way in the basket. Turn that off, take that out. Put my O-ring back in. Lid back on. Get it really tight. Alright. Turn your vacuum pump on. Switch it over. As you can see, you can't really see, but water's starting to flow in right here from the pump, from the line. And you're going to let that start filling up. Okay, so it lost prime again. Didn't fully prime back up. So just gonna make sure I'm not getting any air in. So I'm gonna take my lube, put it around my O-ring, move that in. This will help keep air from getting in, and that stuff is hard to get off your hand, but put your lid back on, and then we're gonna try to prime it up again. I'll let you know. Okay, so after a few tries, it's starting to prime up pretty good now. You can see the water starting to flush over right here, but that is not fully primed. So we're going to keep waiting until it starts really priming up really well. Alright, now you can see it's fully flushing over. You're still going to wait. Alright, that is fully primed right there. So that is how you prime up a pump. Okay, so we've got our pump fully primed up, our basket cleaned out, and now our waste is pumping good and hard. Should start sucking that water out a lot better. Okay, so now we've got that water level down really low. What you're going to want to do is kind of kick up all that dirt and mud, push it towards the back, and now that it's really low, you're going to want to turn on your return so it starts pumping water, pushing it down. And you also do not want to let that water go all the way down. You do not want this pit to empty out and have no water in it, because then it's going to start sucking air, and then you're going to lose prime in your pump, and you're going to have to go fill it up with water again, and then prime your pump back up, have it start sucking water again. Alright, so now we've got the water level really low. It's looking pretty clear, it's pretty clean. Gonna want to keep pushing it down towards where it's sucking everything out. If you want to, you can leave this cracked so it keeps slowly adding water, keeps pushing it, and you don't lose water in your tank. But then you're going to want to come over here and look at these back set of the grids. You've got your vacuum down there. That's where it's sucking water out. You're going to check between all these grids, and you will get a lot of stuff that just clogs up in the middle of those. You're going to take your hose and you're going to wash everything out of there until you can see white from the bottom of the pit, and it just looks completely clear. Like, look, you can see right here a lot of stuff down there, a lot of stuff between these grids. So I'm going to get my hose, I'm going to clean that out. Alright, so now I've got it pretty low, but my waste dribbling out. So come over here to your basket. You can see that water is just sitting there. It's not flowing, it's not primed up, it's just sitting there. So what that means is your basket is full, and we need to clean that out again. And if you want me to show you again, turn your pump off, close that, take your lid off, empty out the basket, put the lid back on, prime it back up. Alright, so I've got my basket cleaned out. It's starting to prime back up. It should fully prime. At that point, coming over here, water's coming pretty good out of your waste, and water level's pretty low here. Start pushing it out. Make sure we keep water in the tank so we don't lose prime again, which happens quite a few times if you're not paying attention. I'm gonna actually fill it up a little more than I should. Alright, so the reason I filled it up more than I should have, even though we had it pretty clean down below, now that I've filled it back up a little more, look how dirty that is. It'll start getting everything out again, so you fill it back up more, and then let it start draining again. It'll really get it really clean. Alright, so what I didn't show you is, since I've been paying attention to this video, trying to make this video, I've been paying as close attention to this as I should, so I've lost prime like 3 or 4 times because I let the water level get too low. And I have had to prime it up again every single time. It's been kind of a pain in the butt, but if you keep losing prime, don't worry, you're fine. Just do not let it suck dry with no water in it for a really long time, or you will burn up your pumps. And that is not good. That's an expensive fix, brand new pump. So yeah, just doesn't matter if you lose prime, just prime it right back up. Don't let it suck dry for too long. Alright, so we've got the grids pretty clear now. So what we're going to do I'm going to start opening your turns. Start filling her back up. You don't want to completely open these. Alright, now we got the water filling back up. It'll come back to the right level. Now you want to come over here. You're going to turn your vacuum pump off. Gonna wait till water level comes up all the way, which that looks pretty good. Alright, and again, you have both returns closed off. You can come over here to your pre-coat. You're gonna, I need both hands. You're gonna open your pre-coat, and then you can come to your bleeder right here. You're gonna open that. It's got air coming out of it. And then you come over here, either to your circulation pump or your breaker. Gonna turn your motor back on. And now what that's gonna do, it's gonna start pushing air through your bleeder, and then eventually water is going to start shooting out of this, and then this will start circulating, and that's when you're going to want to put your perlite or DE in, and I will show you that in a second. Alright, so if you've had it running for a while, still not shooting out water, not bleeding through, what you're going to do, one trick that I've learned: come over to your circulation pump or your breaker, turn off your motor, and you're going to hear that motor start to wind down. And once it really winds down, what's going to happen is, okay, so when you're trying to bleed it, you're trying to get water to come through the motor and shoot out. So once you slow it down, the water starts to build up in it, and then you come back, switch it back on, and that will sometimes help the water start getting into the motor, running through the pipes, and eventually bleed out. And you can try that as many times as you want till it bleeds out. It doesn't really matter. And then just keep trying that for a while. It may take a while. Some pumps bleed right out, some take forever. These pumps actually take forever. Oh, speaking of which, okay, so bleeding through. Want to make sure it's a steady stream. Make sure it's not like jacking or anything like that. So it's a steady stream. You can come over here, close that, so there's no more water coming through, but your pre-coat is still open. So now it's just circulating the water just in this tank, and it's going to dirty up a little bit. That's fine. And then I have perlite. Now you can use perlite, you can use DE, it doesn't really matter. I like perlite better, filters better, I feel like. And then to know how much perlite or how much DE to add, you usually add about, what was it? About 1 scoop of perlite or DE for every 10 square feet of filters you have. Now, in this, I have 13.5 inch by 24 inch grids, and then I have 72 grids in there. The 13.5 inches by 24 inches, you can put in a square foot calculator, comes out to 2.25 square feet. And then I've got 72 grids times 2.25 square feet, that comes out to 162 square feet. Now 162 square feet divided by 10 square feet, that comes out to 16.2, and that's how many scoops you're going to put in. And if I can find it. You can get one of these from a pool supply store. Some of them will tell you, like right here, tells me 1 pound of DE. That's the same for perlite too, so the full scoop is 1 pound. And I need 16.2 pounds, so 16.2 scoops of this. Now, if you can't figure this out, you don't know, you can guess. It's better to do it right, but what I found for these big bags, about that much, about like a little more than a quarter of a bag, equals out to about the same. It's better to put more in than less. Just don't put way too much in. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna dump those 16 scoops or quarter the bag into there, and I'll show you next. Okay, and what I forgot to tell you, if while you're trying to bleed this, you cannot get it to bleed, you've tried switching it on and off, come over here, just while your pre-coat's open, just crack your one return open, just crack it, not fully open, just crack it for a little bit. It'll help start getting water in the system, pushing the air through. And then once you start getting water out of there, close it back up, and it should help it bleed out. Okay, so I've added my perlite. You can add your DE or perlite, whatever, and it gets really clouded up. And you're just gonna let that circulate and circulate until you can see the grids again. And then once you see the grids again, that's when we move on to the next step, and I'll show you what to do then. Alright, so it's been pre-coating and circulating for about 10 to 20 minutes. You can see the grids pretty well, it's pretty clear. So you're gonna come over here, you're gonna open your returns. I'm gonna put you down for a second so I can do that. Alright, so you got your returns open, and you always want to make sure you open your returns first before closing off your pre-coat. So we got the returns open. Now we are going to slowly close that return. Don't slam it closed because it's got water running through it. You don't want to burst your pipes. But got that closed, this is closed, returns are open, motor's going, water's going down, and it'll start clearing up, and you're good. That is how you clean grids on a commercial pool. Do not forget to turn your autofill back on, because when you clean grids, it drains water in your pool.